Have you always wanted to be able to do a squat, but you often get frustrated when you try to do it because you don't think you're doing it right? Well, today I'm going to teach you 2 exercises that are going to progress you into a squat and are going to teach you the perfect squat form. Are you ready to squat? Let's do this. If we haven't met yet, I'm Coach Theona. I'm a certified personal trainer, and I upload videos every single week about the fundamentals of fitness. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and also catch me over on Instagram at Coachtheona. So there's really 3 fundamental principles to learning a squat: balance, mobility, and stability. So the first thing we need to do is figure out if we have any limitations. And the way we can do this is to use what I like to call a balance or a mobility/stability squat test. And it's really going to determine, do you have enough mobility and do you have enough stability to perform a squat? And if you don't have either of one of those things, we can then know what we need to focus on to learn a squat properly. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down on your back and you're going to lift your feet up to 90 degrees. And if you're able to get your knees up at 90 degrees, that means that you have enough mobility to perform a squat. Because if you look at the position of my body, this is the exact position that I would use in order to do a squat. If you don't have enough mobility in your hips to lift your legs up to here, that means you need to do some hip stretching. So that's the floor test. Now we're going to move to the standing test, where we're actually going to try to perform a squat, and we're going to see if we have enough core stability or body control to maintain a flat back while performing a full body weight squat. Set up with our feet shoulder width apart, our toes pointing forward, and we're just going to lift our hands above our head, and then we're just going to simply break at the hips and go down just as far as you can maintain a flat back. As soon as you start to round the back, that means you cannot go any deeper. If you notice that your hands start to fall forward or your back starts to round, that's a key indicator that you do not have enough core stability, core strength, or body control to complete a full squat. 2 things we can learn from here. When we do the test laying down on the ground, do you have enough mobility? Can you lift your legs up to 90 degrees? If you can't, it's a mobility problem. Now, for the standing version, if you are doing a standing body weight squat, do your arms fall forward before you reach parallel or 90 degrees? Does your back round before you reach parallel or 90 degrees? If the answer is yes, then you do not have enough core stability to do a body weight squat. And that means we need to do some exercises to increase our core strength and our core stability. So after you completed these 2 tests, the laying down test and the standing up test, and you've determined what your limitations are, if it's a mobility issue or a core stability issue, I will link some exercises that you can do in the description below to help you with that. But otherwise, let's get into the 2 exercises that are going to help you progress into a squat.
The first exercise is a squat sit to stand, and we're using a chair to assist us. So we're going to start with our feet shoulder width apart with our toes facing forward, and we're going to lift our arms above our head. To descend into the squat, we drive our hips back and we simply just tap our butt onto the chair. And then when we want to come up, we want to have all our weight in our heels and just drive through your heels and come up with a nice lifted chest and a flat back. Once you have come up to the standing position, you can repeat this. So drive your hips back, sit onto the chair, and then drive with your heels back up to your standing position. The next exercise that we're going to be performing is a squat with a stability ball, and we're going to use the stability ball and a wall to assist us. So this exercise is really great because it helps you keep your core nice and stable. It helps you maintain a flat back. And most importantly, it really forces you to keep your shoulders back, because one of the most common compensations with a squat is those arms start to fall forward when you descend into the squat. So this really helps you maintain your shoulders nice and retracted back. So we'll set this up the same way that we did it with the chair. We're gonna have our feet facing forward, shoulder width apart, and we're gonna place the stability ball against our upper back, and we're just going to use our body weight against the stability ball to allow us to drive our hips back. So we drive our hips back and we want to sit as low as our mobility allows, and then simply again drive through the heels and stand up to an upright position. And we can just repeat this a few times and just make sure that you're maintaining, again, a flat back. Keep those shoulders against the stability ball, and don't worry about your knee tracking over your toes. This is natural. This is going to happen. You may hear, oh, your knees can't pass your toes. That's a myth. That's fine. You just want to make sure that your toes are shoulder width apart and that you're driving the weight through your heels each time. So once we've fully mastered these two exercises, we can try to perform the body weight squat. And for the body weight squat, the form is just the same. We're going to start with our feet shoulder width apart, toes facing forward, and lift your arms above head. To descend, you want to break at the hips, drive those hips back until you reach parallel, and then you can come up driving through your heels and stand up to a nice upright position. And again, you want to lead with that chest. Pretend like somebody's pulling you with a rope up by your chest. So you want to keep your chest nice and lifted, your back flat, and keep those arms above your head throughout the entire exercise.
So to wrap it all up, in order to perform a proper squat, you really need proper mobility and you need proper core stability. So when it comes to mobility, you want to have enough ankle mobility and you want to have enough hip mobility. There's a really good person on YouTube, I think it's called Bodyweight Warrior. He made a phenomenal video about fixing the hip mobility and fixing your ankle mobility to perform a squat, and I'll link that in the description below. But also your core stability plays a major role in maintaining a flat back throughout the exercise and just maintaining that body control throughout the entire squat. So start with the basics. Even if you can do a bodyweight squat, I would recommend to do these two exercises because it's going to fix your form. Like I said with the chair squat, it teaches you to really drive those hips back. With using the stability ball, it teaches you to keep those shoulders back. It teaches you to keep your arms above your head. And those are really important components when you do the squat. So make sure you make that really strong foundation. That's kind of what I preach about everything. Make sure you do it right. Even if it takes a little bit longer, trust me, it's worth it. And I also have a free 4-week training guide, and it's all about building the fundamentals of training. So like I said before, building your foundation is the most important part. If you don't start with a solid foundation, you're not setting yourself up for success. So I want to help you guys build the fundamentals to your fitness journey. It includes 4 weeks of home workouts. You don't need any equipment, you don't need anything. It's a completely free program. I also have a nutrition plan included in it. And it really just teaches you the basic movement patterns that you'll need to be able to do any fitness program or achieve anything in fitness. So if you want to grab that, it's in the description below. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and please subscribe and give this video a like and share it with one of your friends. I'd really appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. Thanks.